And if you work for a studio, you don't necessarily... I think that some people in this industry are like, I would even say is quite technical. Don't know if I should clarify this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Hello everyone, it's me in another moment. I of course can't film at the office, it's confidential. I made the effort to put on the same clothes and let's all pretend it's the same day. Today's video might be a little bit boring. I'm gonna talk about a big chunk of my life, something that I do every week for 40 hours, and that is my job. If you don't know me, hi, my name is Jane. I am a 23-year-old animator from Spain, living in Canada, and in my channel I talk about the things that I love and I share my journey. You are more than welcome to subscribe so then you don't miss any of my marvelous content, and to follow me on Instagram at Ginest. I have to admit, it's gonna be really weird to be talking about myself in this way, like I never do it, but I guess I have to mention exactly what I do and some of the stuff that I've worked on. Boiling it down, since November last year, I am a feature film animator for a big visual effects company here in Montreal, Canada. We all know that. Some of the films that I've worked on are Sonic 2. I helped a tiny little bit on Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. That's anecdotic. I've also worked on 3 other films that I don't know if I can mention, so I won't. Today, I'm not gonna be spilling any corporate secrets. I'm just gonna talk about what a normal workday for me looks like and give you my opinions about the job. This applies to both working from home and working on site, aka at the studio. Starting off with the day, as you could see, lately I've been waking up around 6. I do my morning routine, I make my bed, I practice yoga, I journal, and then I get ready for the day. I usually start around 9. If I'm at the studio, it's always nice to say hi to the people I know. I sit down, I turn on my computer, check my company email, I have a look through my notes because I keep track of everything that I'm doing. So I have a look at those, and then in the morning we usually have something called dailies, which is like basically like a project meetup. They are an essential part of an animator's day. We show our work on its current state. The goal is to make sure that everything's going in the right direction and to get feedback from the client, the director, the producer, the supervisor, like basically the person who has a say on how the film is gonna look like. I don't know if I should clarify this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. As animators, we work with shots, which are tiny pieces of footage that they normally average seconds, and we piece them together to make the final film. From my experience, animation is obviously a craft, but it's also a job about getting notes and receiving feedback. It's a constant back and forth. Every single project that I've worked on is different. Sometimes you can spend a lot of time working on something and sometimes you can't. The number and type of shots that you get is also different, as well as the feedback. It changes a lot. In general, I would say that being an animator is not like a cookie cutter job. You do technically perform the same action, but the conditions and the approach that you can take are pretty much subject to change depending on what film are you working on. So if you want to work at this, I'd say open your mind, because I wasn't really aware of this on its entirety. Coming back to my routine, every day around 1 p.m. we get a 1-hour lunch break, and after that we may or may not have dailies again. As I said, it's a job about showing, addressing notes, and presenting things again. And that's it. I work until 6 o'clock in the evening and then repeat the same thing day after day. Having said all this, I'm gonna share some positive and negative aspects about the job. I wanna preface this by saying that this is just my opinion. I'm obviously a junior, I haven't been doing this for a long time. Starting with the positives, I guess it's a cool job that's so cringy. You do get to work on cool things. Apart from that, you meet and work alongside creative minds. That's personally what I enjoy the most, and your work is shown all around the world. That's nice. The cons, I'd say it's not as artistic as many people expect it is, especially students. I would even say it's quite technical. It can also get really monotone and really repetitive, and if you work for a studio, you don't necessarily get to choose exactly what you work on. My overall opinion, and I've said this before, is that it's not as glamorous as I thought it was gonna be. It doesn't mean it's bad, but if you expect it to be all fun and games, it's not. Like, it's still a job. I'm fully talking about myself here. Like, I've met people who are the complete opposite. For me, what I like is the act of animating rather than the final product, like the film. I think that some people in this industry are like more in a state of bliss, and they have a really strong drive because they get to work on films that they love. For me, as much as I want to, I don't have a strong attachment to any franchise or any character. That whole excitement of like, I'm working on films, that faded really quickly for me. At some point, I just normalized it. It might be overly simple. I got into this because I like sitting down, creating, giving life, focusing on details, and getting out of my head. In a way, I think that animation is pretty much like painting. I love the fact that you can always keep learning and getting better. It's still an art. Anyway, that was so cheesy. I think this is gonna be all for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!